Alright, most guys think being interesting means having crazy stories to tell or making a joke every 30 seconds or flexing about achievements or travels or whatever. But the brutal truth is those things make you the most boring person in the room. Because when you're trying that hard, everyone can smell it on you. So today I'm going to break down exactly how to actually be interesting without all the performance. Stick around because this will literally change how everyone sees you and how you see yourself. So first of all, we're going to talk about the try hard trap. So there's so many people who think trying harder is the best way to get people to be interested in you, but the reality is it just makes you come off as needy. So the first thing is the classic performative person. So you walk into every question just planning your next interesting story. So you're literally, when somebody is responding to you, when you're asking them a question, you're not actually listening to what they have to say. You're just planning what you're going to say next instead. And another thing, I don't understand it. People just force like boring facts into conversations. Like, oh, did you know that octopuses have 3 hearts? Like some dumb shit like that. When you're talking about, I don't know, when me and my friends will be talking about like eating the benefits of, when you're talking about like Liver King. Oh, this guy's eating like all these raw meats. I'm going, oh, did you know octopuses have, like, bro, why are you telling me this now? Like, no one cares, right? When you're performing, you're not actually connecting. And the reality is, people think that they're the most interesting person. Let me repeat that, because that's really important. People think that they're the most interesting person. So in other words, they do not care. Okay, they care about what you have to say, but what they really care about is what they have to say. So instead of constantly talking and think you'll impress them by all the stuff you say, you just need to learn to ask the right questions and show genuine interest in what they're saying. And you'll grow that friendship so much faster because they think, oh wow, this person's really interesting. But what actually is going on is, oh wow, this person listens to me talk about my opinions, right? Think about it. Even in your own situations, who's more interesting to you? Some guy that tells you about his own skydiving adventure for 10 minutes straight, or some guy who asks what you've been excited about recently and actually listens to your answer? Like, the second guy will win every time, right? It's not a competition. And so broadly, this is all subconscious. Of course, you don't actually think this, but the guy who tries too hard, he just comes off as, oh, I don't think I'm interesting enough as I am. It just makes them uncomfortable, right? So confidence is attractive, desperation is not. So next we're going to talk about why real interest is actually more important than trying to be interesting. Because like I mentioned before, people just care about themselves. Like, people are selfish. They're the most interesting person. So instead of thinking, how can I impress them? Think about, oh, what makes this person tick? What makes, like, notice when somebody's talking about something, like, what makes, it sounds cringe, or what makes their eyes light up? But, like, you know what I mean? Like, what makes people open up, and you can tell when someone's really passionate about something, you know? Whenever you find that passion, just keep chipping away at it, keep asking questions about that, and they'll think you're so interesting. It's crazy. And they'll really like you. Second thing is about presence. Most people, bro, I hate this with a passion. When I'm talking to someone and halfway through, you know, their phone will buzz and they'll just pull it out and check the notification. Sorry, excuse me. They won't open it or anything, but they'll be checking the notification while we're talking. And it's like, do you think I'm that boring? Or what? Or you're just that addicted to your phone? And to be honest, it doesn't happen that often to me anymore because I've sort of learned to do better storytelling, that sort of thing. But at the same time, when you do that to someone, you're pretty much just pulling the middle finger at them. Like, it's just be a decent human being and respect people. Because honestly, like I said, when people do that, I just lose respect for them and I don't like them, right? So you might be making that same mistake. So yeah, just make people feel important, ask them follow-up questions. Because the more interested you are in others, the more interested they are in you. And the more interested you are in sharing stuff about you, the less interested they are about you, which is counterintuitive, but, you know, lots of things in life don't really make sense, but that's one of them. So here are the storytelling basics, because I said that I improved my storytelling and people would just listen to me more, and it's true. And these are some basic things. So number 1, stop the random story dumps. Tell a story if it adds value to the conversation or if it's relevant. Don't just dump a story on people for no reason, yeah? Obvious stuff. Quality over quantity always. Second thing is the 3 elements of good stories. So number one, emotion. How did it make you feel? Don't just report the facts. Number two, detail. Paint a picture. Where were you? What did you notice? Like, details are interesting. Don't waffle on for ages, but build an immersive story where people start, visualizing and that sort of thing. And number three is build tension. Use pauses. Don't just rush to the punchline. Tell the story properly. Don't feel like people aren't going to listen to you. Of course, don't get stuck in the same spot. Don't waffle on for like 20 minutes. But I'm sure you understand most of this stuff is in moderation, Use pauses when you get up to a climax. Start to build your volume when things get exciting. Slow down when you've lost hope, you can act just pretend you're an actual voice actor. That is quite a good prompt. Just pretend you're a voice actor, and then your brain will subconsciously really accentuate those storytelling elements. And most of the time, it won't be over the top at all. It will be right at a right level, and it'll make you really interesting. So next thing is personal experiences are much better than generic facts. So I know the octopus story, whatever, that's sort of pretty niche. Like, people don't do that often. But for example, I don't know, let's say you're talking about starting a business and somebody said, oh, I heard that 70% of startups fail, right? Pretty boring generic fact. Just try, instead of that, I watched my friend pour everything into a startup last year, and when it didn't work out, I saw him bring himself back up, and it taught me something about resilience. Like, it's the same information, but now it's personal and relatable, right? Next thing is vulnerability. Like, painting yourself as the hero is great, and don't always paint yourself as the loser, because then everyone thinks you're a loser. But if you paint yourself as the hero in everything, people will think you're just trying too hard. So just, when times you messed up and you felt scared or don't know what you're doing, when you can be open about those and also open about your wins, it makes you so three-dimensional. It makes you much more authentic and a much more interesting person. So next is the power of opinions. Most guys will just try to play it safe. Like, they'll be doing stuff like, oh yeah, what do you think? Oh, it's okay. Or you just become conversational wallpaper. You need to disagree respectfully. Oh, I see it differently. Like, there's always some guy with some random opinion. I'm sure you know a guy like this, some random opinion on food or ice cream. Like, I know this girl, and she is so adamant on the fact that, oh, chocolate mint ice cream is the best in the world. Like, I literally listened to her have some dumbass 2-hour argument about why it's the best flavor in the world. I wasn't having the argument. I do not care, bro. I would have told her to shut up within like 10 minutes, right? But, I used that as a conversation starter after, because I heard it. I was like, oh, wow, you're really passionate about this song. But the fact that I remember it is what matters. People might disagree, but I guarantee they'll remember you as the person who thinks pineapple on pizza is a crime against humanity. Like, you have a personality because you're not afraid to disagree, and people actually remember you as, contrarian. So here's the key. You want to have strong opinions, but loosely held. So you want to have a perspective on something, but you're open to changing your mind. Like the ice cream girl, she had a perspective on something which kept her in my mind. But at the same time, she was holding on to them very strongly and arguing about her, which, like I said, made her annoying. Like I said, I would have told her to shut up within like 10 minutes, right? So if you have a strong opinion, but you're also open to changing it, then you balance confidence with like intellectual humility. Like, you're humble as well, which is way more attractive than either somebody who has no opinions or is completely rigid and thinks they're right about everything. And like I said, these can just be basic things like movie, music, food, more deeper like life philosophies, career choices. Like, just things like, if you say, oh, people that say money doesn't matter, they've never been broke, or stuff like that. You can, I'm sure you have your own opinions already, but you're just scared of voicing them. Like, it's not that controversial, but you're just giving a perspective, right? It's definitely a perspective. So next is the micro skills. I feel like I have to talk about this in every video, but they're so important, so I'm going to. It's the body language. It's the eye contact, staring at people. Natural breaks are normal, but don't be, looking at the floor the whole time. Then you have like the voice and pacing. You have the slowing and the speeding up and the deep voice and all of that sort of stuff. You have, the pausing. I don't know if I said that already, but I think it's, another important one. And you have the mixture of humor and depth. So being able to balance the humor relieving tension and the depth building the tension. And that makes things really interesting, because People are attracted to change. So if you have a conversation that's constantly deep, it's really interesting. But after a while, you sort of trickle off. And if it's super funny, it's really interesting, and then you start to trickle off. But it's really deep, then really funny, then really deep, and really funny. You build that constant attention because you're hooked about, what's going to happen next. The human brain wants to predict what's going to happen. Yeah. In friendships, people remember you as the guy that will help the conversation just flow naturally, not the guy who tries to dominate with stories or tries to one-up everyone. Like, I know people who just try to one-up everyone. It's just so annoying, right? Same as dating. I know I've said this quite a lot recently, but women crave authenticity. They can tell when some guy's being performative. The whole performative male thing that's going around on TikTok. Like, obviously, bro, those guys aren't getting laid. So, like, you ain't trying to become one of them. And I know that's going to an extreme because it's like a meme, right? But the underlying truth is still valid. Like, you don't want to become one of those performative males just trying to perform and try to become interesting. Just become naturally interested in others, and it does a much better job. Like, when you stop trying to impress people, the right people think you're naturally impressive. And I think that's really the main point, is that you just naturally attract these people that are compatible with you, which is excellent. So, yeah, what I want you to do is, first of all, subscribe and keep watching these videos because they'll help you build this confidence overnight and build confidence that truly lasts. Secondly, I want you to remember that being interesting isn't about performing, it's about being interested. And yeah, practical steps. I want you to, for the next week, go into conversations with no desire to impress everyone. Instead of thinking, oh, I hope that they like me, think, oh, I hope that I like them. So reframe your perspective and think about just being yourself and seeing where that leads you. Because coming out of that conversation, you'll feel completely different and you'll feel like you're naturally magnetic. So yeah, don't try to become someone else interesting. Just be yourself and see. I mean, some of your friends might leave you because you're being yourself. You're not the same person that they became friends with, but you'll get a bunch of new ones, which are much stronger friendships. So it's a really good sacrifice, in my opinion. So drop in the comments, what one time do you caught yourself trying too hard in a conversation? Hit like on the video if it helped you out, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.